Welcome to the beginning of the series of videos on sequences. And the first example here is asking us to write down the next three terms. So the next three terms should be quite straightforward to work out just by looking at what happens between the terms of the sequence. So if we look at A and we notice it goes from 7 to 11, then we've just added 4. But then we've added 4 again to get to 15. We've added 4 again to get the next term, which is 19. So every time we're just adding 4, and we get up to 23, the next three terms would just be continuing that process. So the next one we would add 4 to that to get 27, and then add 4 to that to get 31, and then add 4 to that to get 35. So the next three terms would just be 27, 31, and 35. For part B, it should be fairly similar. We will just look to see what the difference is between each term and see if it's the same. So it goes from 1 to 9, which means you're adding 8. And if you add 8 again, you get 17, which is the next term. And then you add 8 again, you get 25. So this is going to be the same sort of thing. So what we'd have to do is to work out what adding 8 to 33 would be, which is 41. And then adding 8 to that would be 49. And then adding 8 to that would be 57. So in example 2, it looks like it's asking for the UN term. And this represents the part of the sequence that you're looking for. So if I had a sequence with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terms, for example, and I wanted to find the sixth term, I'd refer to that as U6. So the U means the member of the sequence, and the subscript here, the 6, means that it's the sixth term. So the first term would be written U1, then the second term U2, the third term U3, and so on. So if it's asking for the first 5 terms, it's asking for you to work out U1, U2, U3, 4, and 5. So the first term would be replacing the n here with the number 1. So it's going to be 3 times 1 plus 1, which is 4. To find the second term, you're replacing the n now with 2. So this would be 3 times 2, which is 6, plus the 1 to make 7. And to find the next term, you're replacing the n with a 3. So that would be 9 plus 1 is 10. And you may be able to spot here that you're adding 3 every time. Would you get the same thing for the fourth term? Would you add 3? Would this be 13? Well, if you replace this with a 4, you get 3 times 4, which is 12, plus 1, which is 13. So it does work. And then the next would be 16. In the last example of the first set, it's asking for the first 3 terms of this sequence. And I'm sure we could work out a pattern for this quite quickly. So for U1, which is the first term, that's going to be replacing the n with a 1, so it'd be 8 minus 3, which is 5. U2 would be replacing the n with a 2, so that would be 16 minus 3 is 13. And U3 would be replacing the n with a 3, and then removing 3 from 24 to give 21. And notice every time you're adding 8. And this 8 is actually shown here. So it's this number in front of n also refers to the number that you're adding every time. So for part B, it's asking for the 100th term. That would be U100. And that would be then replacing the n with 100. 800 minus 3 is 797. And for C, the 200th term would be U200, replacing the n with 200 gives you 1600, and then minus 3 would be 1597. Okay, have a go at the exercises.